Hello, wonderful world of Facebook. How are you doing today? Day 2, here we are. Here we are. I've got some cacao. Just give it a minute or two to see if anybody's going to join us live today. And I would love to know from you how you found yesterday's exercise. Was it beneficial? Have you noticed anything when you are tuning in and checking in with your breath? Let me know in the comments before we start to kick off. Personally, myself, I went to the chiropractor yesterday and have already noticed a difference in how I breathe. Because often some of my ribs up here get a little bit stuck, which causes me some neck pain. So that's all fixed, which feels really nice. So what have you noticed? Let me know if you're here. Drop a hello in the comments. I should be able to see them, hopefully. I can't see who is here, but I can see there is one person here. So welcome, whoever you are. Would love to know who's here. If you missed yesterday's session, go and check that out. Something very, very simple that you can do anywhere, anytime, which is the double inhale sigh. And that will help you to just really come back to your breath and really come back to presence and start to begin to calm your nervous system down. So what I want to, before we jump into today, because today is about managing anxiety or banishing anxiety and sleeping better. And those are two things that can be really simply achieved with the very simple breathing technique that I'm going to show you today, in addition to a few other things. And before I dive into that, for those of you that are interested and for those of you that asked me, you will know that I've mentioned that I'm launching a program next week, and I just wanted to speak about that before we actually go into the breath work and we go into an altered state. From an integrity point of view, I would much rather just give you this information and then we'll go into the breath work. I'm starting a program on Tuesday, which is called Sovereignty Rising. Now, I don't know if you know this, but I really don't like sales. I don't really like selling. I don't really like sales pages. So I have not really put anything out there about this program at the moment in a big way, but I just wanted to mention it here. If what is coming up for you during these sessions is potent, if you're resonating with my energy and my message, then this is definitely something that you want to check out. We are going to be working between the equinox, which is Tuesday, and the winter solstice, which is the 21st of December. So we're going to go for a 3-month period. And during that time, there are going to be a few different things going on. So it's going to be weekly breathwork sessions in a group. There's also going to be access to the content of a course that I produced, which is called Revolutionary Human. And I did that earlier in the year, and I haven't published any of it since, but it's a 7-module self-guided course that you can take in your own time. That's like really sharing all of my best stuff that I've learned in the field of transformation over the last however many years, quite a few years. And so that's going to be a group program that we're going to move through over 12 weeks. And there's also going to be an accountability call in there as well. And this really is about you getting clear on what you want to bring to life and actually having some structure and a place to channel that energy, to have some accountability, to have some visibility, to have some other people that can see what you're doing, that can support you. So energy clearing, supporting you, checking in, out of the way to create the life that you really are here to live and create and serve in the way that you are also here uniquely to serve. There's also, in addition to group work and all of this content, you will get access. Basically, my membership program that's going to be upcoming is included in that for the period of 3 months. And also there's an opportunity to go through the spiral with me. So for those of you that are familiar with the spiral, you maybe have already spoken to me about it. This is going to be the most cost-effective and cheap way to go through the spiral with me. There's a huge discount if you want to come be part of this group program and also go through an 8-week one-to-one spiral process with me. That is also available as an add-on to the group process. And the way that the course is going to flow is also going to tap into those different milestones. So for those of you that are new here, for those of you that are new perhaps to me, I work with Breathwork has been my primary modality to help people really connect with the truth that's inside of them and bring it to life over the last 6 or 7 years now. And in the last couple of years, I've been working with a really powerful emotional clearing technique called the spiral. And what this is, it's a combination of different maps and models, but it uses kinesiology to identify your core conditioning blocks, your core emotional blocks, and to remove them so that you can reprogram beneficial, expansive beliefs and behaviors that are actually going to allow you to express your unique self in the world and create the life that you actually want, rather than running on the programs of other people that you have surreptitiously taken on as your own. So yeah, the spiral is a really deep emotional cleansing process that really puts you in touch with the truth of who you are so that you can live it and breathe it and bring it out into the world and really breathe the change. When I talk about breathing the change, where you can really breathe the change that you wish to see in the world. So if all of this is resonating, if you're interested in this, reach out to me, send me a message and I can send you the details of the program in a bit more of a breakdown. I would love to have you there. It's going to be super, super exciting to see everybody's progress over the 3-month period. It's kind of, it may well go on for longer, I'm not sure at the moment, but it's kind of incredible to know how much can be done in a short space of time. I really want people to understand and appreciate that. You might feel stuck, you might feel contracted, you may be experiencing a lot of fear and anxiety, and we're going to talk about that in a moment, but I want you to know that all of that can change in a very short space of time. If you're feeling disconnected, if you're feeling out of sorts, if you're feeling that you're not contributing or that you're unclear on your purpose, all of that can change in a very, very short space of time if you make the commitment to yourself to actually start with yourself and investigate what it is that your soul is really calling you to do. And that often in modern life is not an opportunity that we give ourselves. And hence, we are here. So I'm going to finish that off now. That's going to end the chat about sovereignty rising. That's what it's called. It's about bringing our sovereign nature. It's bringing our freedom to the fore. So contact me if that is of interest and we can have the chat if it's right for you at this point in time. So, let me know if you're here. See some eyeballs on there, but I'm not sure who is actually here. Say hi in the comments if you are. Hopefully everybody can hear me. Otherwise I've just waffled on for a long time about nothing. So, what I want to talk about today is anxiety and sleep. Now, when we are with our brake pedal down that I talked about yesterday, hi Brenda, good to see you here. When we are with our brake pedal down, not our brake pedal, our accelerator pedal down, our car is going to move very fast, right? And our accelerator, if you remember from yesterday, just to recap, is our sympathetic nervous system. It is our fight or flight response. It's our activation energy that gets us moving from A to B. And yet, when we are chronically in that state, it's going to lead to burnout. And potentially it's also going to lead to things like anxiety. Now, anxiety has multiple causes, and I'm not going to go into all of them at the moment. But essentially what is happening in our body, either from an outside stimulus or from an internal thought stimulus, so a thought that we're having, our body gets triggered into this activation, into this fight or flight response. And for those of you that are familiar with this, perhaps that you experience panic attacks or anxiety itself, you will notice that you might have sweaty palms, you might feel a sense of claustrophobia, you might feel your heart rate increasing, you might feel you go really cold and have chills, or the opposite of get really hot and start warming up. You might feel just agitated, right, in your body. And this is because that activation energy is here. Our system has been activated, and what that's doing is saying, there's a threat here. So we are responding either to a physical threat outside of us, or we're responding to something in our mind, such as a thought that we perceive is a threat, that we perceive has a negative consequence or a negative outcome. And so we become fearful about that outcome, and then we start to experience this fight or flight response in our body. And that really is what we call anxiety. And it's related to a fear of something happening in the future. So when this activates, like I said, we can feel like, we just need to move, we want to run away. And there's energy present, there's energy for us. This is the same energy, by the way, that is active when you are doing a workout or a run. Okay, so if you think of it that way, it's just the part of the body's natural processes. Yet in this modern day, we take something response and we perceive that there's a problem with that, when actually no, there's not. There's this energy available. Now what do we do with it? This energy in our body is saying, okay, move, run, I don't know, do squats, stand up and fight, because this is the fight or flight energy, right? And so there are two ways that we can, two ways I'm going to show you today anyway, that we can work with that energy. So first of all, is if you're physically triggered by something, and that could be an email, it could be, somebody coming too close to you in the car, like you're driving another car hitting you, nearly hitting you, for example, something that kind of shocks you. One of the first things to do that you can do is breathe out for longer than you breathe in. And it sounds really simple, but we breathe in and we breathe a really long exhale, and you do that a few times. And what this is going to do, it's just going to tell your body, okay, that threat has passed. Because what happens is we can get into that cycle, and if we then get fearful about that experience, about that cycle, then it can be worse. Rather than telling our body with a long exhale, which is a reset button, that the threat is gone. The threat is no longer here. And if you do this long exhale, you will notice the difference. A couple of breaths and you will come back down to baseline very, very quickly. Now, another way of dealing with the energy or the perceived energy of anxiety is to move it. So you're being invited by your body to move. Your body is saying, we need to move. Okay, so you can actually work with that impetus of movement as well. So one of the great ways that I like to shift this energy if it comes up, first of all, you can go for a walk, right? Get up from your desk, get up from the sofa, whatever you're doing, and go for a walk. Move the energy in your body. Maybe you want some music, maybe you just want to connect with the sights and sounds of nature, Move your body. It may be that you enjoy the gym, it may be that you want to do some yoga, it may be that you want to do some squats. One of the best ways to do this, if you have a short amount of time and you like to dance, is dancing. But another way is shaking. Shaking and vibrating your body, and that's what I want to just lead you on a little bit of now, if you are game for that. Either you can sit in your chair if you're sat down, or if you're feeling adventurous, you can actually stand up, which is what I'm going to do. And I'll just say a few things before I go and stand up. But really, this is about getting out of your head and into your body and allowing the energy in your body to move through you. And when you do this, you might feel a little bit self-conscious. Just notice that judgment of yourself, like where is that coming from? What is that about? Because moving and being in connection with your body is nothing to be embarrassed about or shameful of or fearful of. Unfortunately, we have been led to believe that for many reasons and a lot of our conditioning, that our body is either dangerous or bad or sinful and all of these things, when actually, or broken, when actually our body, if we're in harmony and connection and communication with it, has so much to communicate with us, right? It has so much to teach us if we just listen to our body. So shaking is a really, really great way of doing that, because it can move out this stagnant and stuck energy, and it can also move out the activation that occurs when we experience anxiety. So typically when we get the fight or flight mode activated, right, our sympathetic nervous system is activated, we have things like adrenaline and cortisol, these stress hormones that are now pumped around our body. And this has a physiological impact, right? Our muscles are primed to move, we are primed to run or fight or whatever. And so that energy is available to us. So it makes sense, therefore, to actually utilize that energy and shake it out. You see a gazelle, if it is chased by a lion in the wild and it escapes, run, and it escapes, it's got all of this adrenaline built up in its system. It's got all this excess energy that is ready and available to be used. When it goes into a safe space, when it knows that it's finally safe, you will see, and you will see this on documentaries if you watch, is that it will go into a safe space and it will shake its body. The same happens with dogs. They will shake out their body afterwards, and what that's doing is shaking out that excess energy, and returning to baseline. So this is, as humans, what we've forgotten to do. And so I'm inviting you today to get back in touch with this instinct and this sensation of shaking as a way of clearing out any stagnant or stuck energy and coming back to, or overflow of energy, and coming back to baseline. And again, don't think too much about this. If you're going to join me, I'm going to get up now and we're going to do this together. Oh, push my chair in. So as you can see, I've got my leggings on because I'm going to the gym after this. Can you see me? Yes. So I just want you to take a minute, if you're standing up, if you're sat down, I just want you to take a minute, just close your eyes. Take a couple of deep breaths with a sigh. Right. And with each of those sighs, just allowing your energy to drop, allowing your body to arrive, allowing the shoulders to relax, and feeling your weight down through the floor. So down through your feet and your toes, on the ground. If you're sat on the chair, the weight through your buttocks onto the chair. And take a couple of breaths, just directing the breath down into your feet. And again, just inviting all of your energy and awareness down into your body. Wherever your mind has been, wherever your energy has been, just allowing it to arrive in this moment. Letting go of anything from before, letting go of anything that you need to do afterwards. That will all come back in the right time. But just allowing yourself to be here now. And this is going to be really simple. I want you to stay with your eyes closed if that feels comfortable for you. If you want to open your eyes, you're welcome to as well. But I find for this kind of exercise, it's good to keep your eyes closed, because actually you're tuning in more to what's happening in your body, and it makes you a little less self-conscious. If you're feeling a bit silly or self-conscious, it makes you less self-conscious just to know that you're actually just tuning into the movement and the vibration that's happening in your body. And in this space, if you're standing up, I just want you to start to shake your hands and your arms. Whether you're standing up or sitting down, just shaking your hands and your arms. Just noticing how that feels. Maybe you want to give your shoulders a bit of a shake. And you'll notice that I'm also doing this with closed eyes. That's how it feels good for me to tune in. So shaking your arms, shaking your hands, just letting it all hang loose. And now you might want to start moving your head and neck from side to side. Giving that a bit of a shake, shaking the shoulders, shaking the hands, shaking the arms. And as you do this, you might also want to take a few deep breaths and a few sighs. So breathing in as you're shaking, right? And if you're sat on the chair, you can also be doing this as well. If you're sat on the chair, you might also want to stand up. And we're going to move into moving our legs as well. So if you're stood up, you can add your legs and your hips into the shaking. With the arms and shoulders and head, so you're moving the whole body. Taking a few deep breaths, sighing it out. Maybe you want to shake it out. Maybe you want to bounce a little bit on your heels, just feeling the weight of your body on the ground, just bouncing up and down, letting it all go. If you're on the chair, you can also move your legs up and down, or you can shake your legs side to side, moving the hip joints. It's better to stand up because then you can loosen your buttocks and really just shake it out. So keeping going with the shaking, full body shaking. Maybe you want to put a bit more effort into it, maybe bend your knees a little bit more. Bring a bit more energy. Making some sound if that feels good. Remembering to breathe. Letting go of any thoughts, any judgment. This is just you and your body together. A little bit more, a little bit faster, a little bit more maybe chaotic. Just maybe you want to bring your arms up and shake them in front of you, right to the sides. Just be careful not to hit anything. Letting it all unwind, letting it all go. And then I just want you to come into stillness. Just stop. Stop where you are, let your arms drop down by your sides. Just be here in this quiet space. Just noticing how your body feels. Taking a few more deep breaths. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. We're going to do a couple of sighs. And again, in through the nose. Noticing how you're feeling. And when you're ready, I'm going to invite you, if you're stood up, to find a seat. If you're sat down already, you can stay sat down with your eyes closed. And if you like, you can either lie down. Just going to come back to my screen and sit down so I can lead this next part. So I'll be interested to know in the comments how you're feeling. How was that experience for you? If you want to share. Otherwise you can just stay eyes closed and you can let me know in the comments afterwards. And so we're going to move on to the next thing. That's one way you can move this energy through your body and just tune into your body. We're now going to practice a technique that can be used to bring down anxiety also, and also relax your body for sleep. This is a technique called the 4-7-8 breath that some of you might be familiar with. And so we breathe in for a count of 4, we hold our breath for a count of 7, and then we breathe out through our mouth for a count of 8. And where we are holding our breath and also where we're breathing out for longer than we breathe in, this is bringing our nervous system down to balance, to rest and digest so that we can actually switch off and go to sleep. Or, like I said, come back down to balance in the case of anxiety. So this is something you can do in the evening. It's recommended that if you're pregnant that you don't do the breath holding part. So if that's the case for you, then you can just breathe in for a count of 4 and out for a count of 8. But for everybody else, we are going to breathe in for 4 through the nose. We're going to hold our breath for a count of 7. And we're going to breathe out through our mouth, through pursed lips. So as if we're blowing out a candle, we're going to do that for a count of 8. So when you're ready, you can just close your eyes and again, just tuning into what's happening in your body. Feeling your feet on the ground. You might also like to place a hand on your abdomen, below your navel. And recognize that when you breathe in, your abdomen expands. And when you breathe out, your abdomen relaxes. So closing your eyes if you haven't done so already. And I'm just going to count you through some rounds of this breath. And we're going to breathe in through the nose first of all. So just emptying out the last breath. I'm going to breathe in through the nose, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhaling through the mouth, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale through the nose, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Breathing out through the mouth, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathing in through the nose, 2, 3, 4. Holding the breath, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Breathing out through the mouth, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathing in through the nose, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Breathing out through the mouth for 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And just continue in your own time, breathing in through the nose for 4, hold for 7, out through the mouth for 8. And just coming to the last round, the last exhale of 8. And then just letting go of counting. Just being in this space, nothing to do, nowhere to go. Recognizing that you are valuable just as you are. And that everything is perfect in this moment. Just noticing how your body feels. Noticing a state of mind. And when you're ready, bring your awareness and attention back into the room. Back into your body. If you want to bring a little bit of movement to your fingers and toes. Welcome back. So welcome to your breath. As a reminder, the 4-7-8 can be done to relieve anxiety and to get better sleep. So I hope you found that helpful. I'd love to hear from you how you feel. If you know anybody that would benefit from experiencing this work, please invite them to the group. They can catch up on yesterday and today's videos. And I look forward to seeing you again, same time, same place, for some more breath work tomorrow and then Friday as well, Monday. I don't know what day it is. So remember, breathe the change you wish to see in the world. Thanks for joining.